G'day folks, welcome to an OCC Daily Queensland Weather Up. Today the 26th of the 1st, 2023, Australia Day. This update brought to you by a major sponsor, TownsvilleSheds.com. Check them out if you're in the market for a shed-safe, accredited shed. Alright, we've got a trough system across the Coral Sea. You can see it just up through the northern Coral Sea, extending down into the central Coral Sea with a weak low pressure system located off the coast of Mackay. That weak low and trough will come onto the coast over the next 24 hours and increase shower activity across northeast, central east Queensland, all the way from about Yeppoon all the way to the Torres Strait Islands. The northern part of that trough may then induce a weak circulation around the northern parts of the Gulf of Carpentaria on Saturday, and that circulation is expected to track in a general southwest direction into the NT and have no effect on Queensland. Circulation is also expected to remain very weak. But in the meantime, big increases in shower activity across eastern Queensland. And before we get there, a couple of sneaky storms that could be quite strong around southeast Queensland, and lots of shower and storm activity across northwestern parts of the state. Instability indexes today are pretty high across northwest Queensland through parts of central west Queensland. Moisture levels are reasonably low though, so that might just cap the opportunity for the heavy rainfall from some of these convective cells. And as we go through into 4 p.m. and 7 p.m, you'll notice big increases in instability there around southeast Queensland's hinterland areas, and the possibility of some sneaky strong thunderstorms developing there around that southeast corner just inland of the coastline. You can also see convective instability remains quite high across the southern and central inland parts of the state, and very high across northwest Queensland, where we could see some really nice storms in that area. Notice also we've got a little bit of convective instability across the northeast ranges, just inland of the ranges there, so perhaps a weak isolated convective shower, maybe even a very weak thunderstorm. As we progress into tonight, you'll notice there's convective instability remains quite high overnight. Just the triggers might be a little bit more difficult to attain overnight, and we see this unstable air associated with this massive trough. Look at it, extends all the way from New Guinea all the way down to the central Queensland coastline and comes onto the coast overnight tonight, and you can see widespread instability tomorrow with lots of showers in lots of areas. Between now and when we talk again tomorrow morning, once again, lots of showers and storms across western Queensland, particularly northwestern Queensland for some of our bigger cells and stronger cells. A couple of little sneakies down here around the southeast. Don't let the lack of rainfall fool you. They could still be quite strong here, albeit quite isolated as well because of the lack of moisture. But as that as the northeasterly sea breeze interacts with that instability, we could actually see some pretty sharp little storms down there. Also, eastern Queensland, see this increase in shower activity developing from overnight tonight into tomorrow, and maybe an isolated weak convective cell across the northeast and central east interior. Lots of showers and isolated thunderstorms around the northern Cape York Peninsula too. A couple of those might be gusty in a fresh easterly flow through the deep layer atmosphere. And just quickly, as we peer into the crystal ball for tomorrow, we can see this significant increase in rainfall across eastern Queensland once the trough does come on shore overnight early in the morning, and then allows that deep, moist easterly flow to come all the way into the state, state's eastern seaboard and adjacent inland areas. Trough system coming onto the coast overnight means that the southeasterlies are going to ramp up a little bit, so just be aware of that if you're out on the water, particularly in central and northern Queensland. We are going to see those southeasterly winds, and those southeasterly winds could pack a bit of a punch, especially if they're accompanied by some squally showers coming in on that easterly flow. It's not the strongest trough. It's a very large trough, but it's not the strongest trough, so we're not anticipating any really big winds, but we can see winds up around 20 to 25 knots and squally showers, which could result in winds in very isolated pockets of 25 to 30 knots as those showers come onto the coastline or get close to the coastline. So just be aware of that if you are out on the water. We're about to start a couple of weeks of very interesting weather across Queensland and across the northern tropics in Australia. If you want to know more, join.ozcyclonechasers.com.au. Check out our subscription option. That's where we delve into the crystal ball, and that's where we start talking about all the big stuff that's coming. Have a good day.